Welcome to day 20 of Pelling with Glen. So today is a right-hand day. So go ahead and grab your sword and face our Pell, and we're gonna work through all of our shots that we've learned so far. So, as always, make sure your hips and your shoulders are working together. Make sure you're not chambering your shot. You're not pulling your hand away from your target before you throw a shot at the target. Make sure you're using your legs to drive your shot and not just throwing it with just your arm. And make sure your stance is correct. You've got your front foot pointing at your opponent and your rear foot 45 to 90 degrees off from pointing at your opponent. So we're gonna get started here with our same side chops. So we're gonna do 10 high, 10 medium, 10 low. Frame chop. As always, make sure you're making these shots your own by shortening the power stroke to where you need it to be. You may not need the full power stroke, most of you won't, so you can shorten it down to wherever you need to be and practice that. All right, 10 high. Ten medium. And 10 low. Okay, a little tiny step closer. All right, let's switch feet. 10, 10, and 10 again. Ten middle. Ten low. Good. Let's go ahead and switch back to our sword leg back position. Let's do our jab chop. So driving forward, 10, 10, and 10. A little tiny step closer, 10 low. Go ahead and switch your feet. And 10 low. All right, that was our two same side chops. We have our third same side chop. It's really a vertical chop. So again, shifting our weight forward, bring your hand down. Make sure you're keeping your hand up as high as you can on these shots. We don't want to be throwing a shot down here because we lose angle to get around people's equipment. So, if you have different levels, please break those up. If you only got one level like I do, if you only have one level like I do, go ahead and just throw your 30 shots there. Good. Let's go ahead and switch feet. If you're not keeping the same pace I am, it's fine to go ahead and pause the video, catch up, do your shots, and then rejoin me. So work through this at your own pace. It's about doing this correctly, not about doing it fast. So that's our same side and our horizontal chop. Let's go ahead and do our cross body chops. So we're gonna start with our frame chop, sword leg back. I'm gonna do 10, 10, and my other 10 is gonna be here. Notice I'm using my legs to power the shot. I'm not using just my arm. So get your whole body working in concert. And my last 10. Go ahead and switch your feet up. Ten middle. Ten low. I'm going to throw my 10 low down here to this leg. Good. So that was our 10 crossbody frame chops. Let's do our 10 crossbody jab chops. Middle. And 10 low. Good. Go ahead and switch feet. An important thing to note, and if you were paying a lot of attention, notice I screwed up a couple of mine and started throwing frame chops instead of jab chops. Jab chops have a lot more tricep activation, so the shot is a lot more using your arm to come forward and less using your shoulder to bring your arm in position. So let's do our last set of 30, 10, 10, and 10 with the jab chop crossbody. A little bit closer, let's take out those legs, 10 of these. All right, very good. So that gets us all of our chops. We've done our same side, we've done our cross body, so we're doing good so far. What we've got left to do is our wraps. So we've got 3 wraps, as you recall. We've got our full wrap, sword comes out, stays parallel to the plane it's moving on, and then we rotate parallel on that plane. Notice our elbow comes up, that rotates our hand from palm up to palm down. All right, so that's our full wrap. That's gonna do first. We're gonna throw 30 of those into a midline target on our opponent. If you need to work through these slower, that's fine. Work at a slightly slower pace, throw the shots at speed where you make sure you're doing them right. Make sure you're not hugging your target and pulling back, trying to just give your target a big hug. That's not our point, or not our goal here. Our goal is to snap that target into them by bringing that elbow up and putting that snap at the end. We're never bringing our shoulder back. We can bring our hand out in space to put more snap on them. Good. Go ahead and switch feet. A lot of times with your sword leg forward, you won't come over as far, right? You won't come back as far. Maybe you'll start here instead of here when you bring that tip over. So 30 of these, do your best pace. Good. So that was our full wraps. If you're getting a little tired, that's fine. Go ahead and take a short break. You don't want to get noodly arms. You want to have our arms in good shape to keep doing these. So if you need a short pause, that's fine. So that was our full wrap. Now through our fast pitch wrap, where we're throwing our shot as if we were throwing a baseball. So shot comes in, and then as always with our wraps, we're picking our elbow up, which is rotating our hand now from palm over to palm down. Right, because it's not just a wrist rotation, we're using our whole arm because that gives us stronger joints than our weak little wrists, right? If you've got big, thick wrists, it's still your weakest joint, well, one of your weakest joints. Certainly your weakest joint in this kinematic chain. So, 30 of these, pick your target, do them as slow as you need. If you discover they're skipping down a lot, that means you're not picking up your elbow enough to change your momentum from a vertical to a horizontal. Good. Let's go ahead and switch feet. Go to sword leg forward. Same shot. So we're just pitching it. And then when we get to about here, we're going to pick our elbow up, and that rotates our sword tip in. It also brings our hand out in space a little bit. Make sure you're picking up that elbow. Good. So that was our sword leg forward. So we've done all of our fast pitch wraps. Last thing we have here is our chop wrap, right? This is really our most abbreviated wrap. Starts out as if we're throwing a straight horizontal chop, right? So the shot comes in, but we're not throwing it into our target because that is a horizontal chop. Instead of throwing it past our target, right next to the target, and then when we get close to where we want to be, about the same spot we're rolling over for our fastball wrap, we are going to again pick our elbow up. Notice what that does. I keep my wrist in line with my arm, right? I'm not using my wrist. We don't use our wrists. Wrists aren't strong. Shoulders are much stronger. So we get to here, pick my elbow up, right? And that shakes this into that. The more you pick your elbow up, the more you'll convert that vertical energy into horizontal energy. So there we go. And when the shot finishes, you should be ending up with the back of your blade, right, hitting the target. It shouldn't be hitting with the flat, because that's really just bringing a chop in and kind of sliding it over. We want to rotate our hand so that puts our back edge blade into our opponent. Now, if you're using a round sword like I am, you don't have a front and back edge, but you can imagine if you want to practice for training, you can put a little bit of tape on your cover, right? I'd use cloth tape. I wouldn't use duct tape because cloth tape will come off and stick a little bit better for that. So, but we're hitting them with the back edge. Here, back edge. All right, we've gotten that far. Let's go ahead and do our sword leg forward, our chop wraps. So again, go at your best speed. Make sure you're not chambering. I'm getting lazy here as I get tired, so I don't want to be doing that. Make sure you're coming back to guard, throw the shot, wrap in. All right, I've lost count. I think that was 30. Maybe feel a little bit of burn in your forearm or your shoulder. That's fine. It means you've done a lot of reps, which we have. We've thrown, what, 420 shots, something like that. So that wraps up day 20 of Pelling with Glen. So we have now done our chops, both sides, done our vertical chop as well. We've done 3 different wraps. We've done them in both hand positions. So that gets us through day 20. Keep up the good work, and I'll see you tomorrow.